Hi everyone. So in this section I'm going to show you how to set up and get everything ready for creating your drawing or your illustration for your alter ego. Now there are a lot of steps in this. This could be considered a boring tutorial, but it's really important because I'm going to have you do things in a very specific way, and that is so that you guys will be able to change things up in the future. So please take your time, watch this. So the first thing we're going to do is bring our image in, and I'm going to bring in this picture right here, and I'm just going to drag this over top of Illustrator. And you can see now it's in. You can also see that there's a black outline here. This black outline is the actual artboard that we have. So if I click on the artboard section over here, I can drag this to fit. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so that it's all there. Whoops. Sometimes you make another artboard. And we'll just fit everything in there. All right, this is not the best quality picture. I would hope that you get one that's a lot better, but we have a nice sense of shadows, midtones, and highlights, which is what we're going to use to define the geometry of the face and the form of the face. Okay, so we have that set. Now let's go in and make sure that we set this up as something called a template. We do that by going over here into our layers section. And if we double click on this, and you want to make sure that you're on top of the actual thumbnail here, you can see that you can change the name, but there's this option right here that says template. And if we click on that, it'll do a bunch of things. It'll lock it, it'll show it, it'll preview, and it'll also dim it to 50%. Now this works well for line art that you're tracing, but for something like this, I want this to actually be 100%. Whoops. So we'll put in 100. Hit OK. And so it's just done a lot of nice things for us here. We can also change this to template. So we have that set. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new layer for each of the different values that we'll create. We'll be creating more as we go along, but let's start off with our first, which will be the midtones. Then we'll do, let's say, shadows. Whoops. Cancel. Double click. Shadows. And then one more for highlights. And this will be going with the face because that's the thing we'll be most concerned with. And then we'll also do let's do one more, and we'll call that the hair. Now I'm doing this in a very specific way. We're going from the bottom to the top because a lot of these things will overlap each other. When we first do the flesh, we're just going to do a basic outline of the face. Then we're going to do our shadows and then our highlights on top of that. As one overlaps the other, we won't have to worry about things. So you'll see that when I trace the head, I'm not going to do the greatest job because I know I'm going to put the hair over top of that. So it doesn't really matter too much. And that's how you want to set these layers up. If you think about it, you want to kind of go from like how you would dress, right? So you want to make sure that the layer that's my skin, my midtone, is lower down than the shirt or my glasses, right? If I was wearing a jacket on top of this, then I would want to put that jacket layer on top of my shirt layer. All right, and I'm sorry about the picture. You're just gonna be having to look at that for a while. Let's get into actually doing the tracing aspect of this in our next video.